They say they're not a political party, but close to 20 of the voices of candidates have another thing in common: campaigning millions.
Let's change the climate in Canberra.
If Simon Holmes à Court raises $20 million plus and puts that money into targeted local campaigns in Liberal Party seats, then that has the potential to swing the election.
Today at the National Press Club, investor and philanthropist Simon Holmes à Court.
Simon Holmes à Court is the son of Australia's first billionaire, the legendary corporate raider Robert Holmes à Court. Now Simon has his sights set on power games in Canberra.
Australian politics is broken. That's the problem. That's why we're here today. Hacking at the branches hasn't been working. We have to strike at the root. And I say that striking at the root means getting people into Parliament who are strong, independent, and ready to hold government accountable.
If we elect just 3 more climate-ambitious independents...
In 2019, just days before the last federal election was called, Simon Holmes à Court set up Climate 200.
This election, we have an opportunity to fundamentally change our government's response to the climate crisis.
This seesaw diagram from Holmes à Court gives the game away. The voices are Labor's insurance policy in the event of a hung parliament, despite the spin from their money man.
Together, we can do this.
These candidates are not working in cahoots. These candidates speak for themselves. They are truly independent. We have no influence in what they will do in the next, immediately following election, nor do we seek to.
Despite demanding integrity in politics, millions of dollars has been used to fund these voices candidates coming from Climate 200. And there have been questions about disclosures.
There's a lot of noise at the moment around electoral donation disclosure. Climate 200 goes above and beyond the legal disclosure requirements, encouraging all our donors, large and small, to disclose their names on our website.
These are individuals using very complex financial structures with no accountability back to a grassroots political organisation like political parties, and they need to be called out for that.
The Australian Electoral Commission shows that Climate 200 donated nearly $450,000 to 12 independent candidates at the last election. This election, that war chest could be as high as $20 million.
It's interesting that the Climate 200 candidates, what Labor seat are they running in? They're not. What seat are they running in that Labor hopes to pick up at the election? They're not. They are purely running against Conservative seats to do the bidding by and for the Labor Party.
Up until August last year, Climate 200 shared a registered address with a business called Popularis Agency. It's a campaigning company set up by 3 men with strong ties to the Labor Party and the activist group Get Up. We can reveal that 6 Climate 200 donors have given a combined $330,000 to Get Up over the past 7 years.
What do you fight for?
We know it's been revealed that there is quite a relationship between Get Up, former staff, ALP, former staff, and a campaign house supporting a number of these voices independents. That lends weight to the argument that they're just a campaigning vehicle for the left side of politics.
Oh, there's no doubt, Peter. What's happened is that the orange shirts have been taken off and the teal ones have been put on. Get Up is a nasty word now. They've been caught out. The transparency applied to them has shown that they are not really a grassroots organisation. They never were. It's Get Up under a different banner and a different name.
Which brings us to Zali Steggall. Popularis also share the same business address as Elvira Advisors. It's run by Damien Hodgkinson, a director and sole shareholder of Climate 200. He was Steggall's financial controller at the last election, the man behind her $100,000 donation in breach of the laws around disclosures.
It was disgraceful, it was tricky, it was understood at the time, I'm sure of that. It was no accident.
Now Climate 200 is financing around 20 independent candidates, people like Zoe Daniel. And it's no coincidence that they're almost all women. It's part of a deliberate ploy to highlight the Liberal Party's so-called problem with women.
Yeah, if you vote for these Teal independents, they're not telling you if they're going to support the continuation of the Morrison government or if they're going to back a Labor and Greens alliance government. And so I don't know why smart people would completely outsource their choice on who they want to see be the government after the election to someone who isn't telling them beforehand on what they'll do if they have the balance of power.
Those in Labor concerned that Albanese doesn't have what it takes to win a majority know that if the result is a hung parliament, the so-called independents could end up in the driver's seat.
Well, in general terms, this is a hung parliament. Preferences have been distributed, everybody's been elected, and it comes out that the major parties have pulled exactly the same amount of seats. So what are we going to do about that? Well, they can't govern. They can't govern until they've got a majority. So we know the Greens here on 2 seats, they will go to the Labor Party. So Labor Party's now got a 2-seat majority until One Nation says, no, we're going to back the coalition. We know historically that the Labor Party is better at negotiating with minor parties and independents. So this little pink guy has promised all sorts of things by the coalition, but promised a lot more from the ALP. So now, this guy is arguably the most important, most powerful person in the country.
If just 3 more pro-climate independents are elected, they would be able to hold the party machines accountable.